Manchester United reportedly targeting 2 players ahead of the January transfer window. Ruben Amorim will be given a say in the Manchester United squad, and which players will leave the club. These are some of the topics we will be discussing on this morning's show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 500 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching today, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 40,000 subscribers, so make sure you go and do that if you haven't already. Right. I like to try and make the shows interactive, and as always, I like to start off with a question. And the question is this: I want you to give me your score predictions for Manchester United's game against PAOK tonight in the Europa League. Go and do that right now. Put the score prediction. If you want to tell me who the scorers will be, you can do that as well. 8 p.m. kickoff. Let's do a little preview of that before we start with all of the kind of transfer-related rumours and gossip. So, obviously, tonight's a must-win game for Manchester United. Our start to the Europa League campaign has been absolutely awful, hasn't it? Not having won a European game for, I think it's over a year now, isn't it? Which is mental, especially when you consider the teams that were in the Champions League last year. We played Galatasaray, we played, was it Copenhagen? And obviously Bayern Munich, who are a decent side. And then this time we've played Porto. What else have we played? Porto. My brain's gone. Porto. We've definitely played Porto, Fenerbahce, and the other one was FC Twente. Manchester United are currently sat in 22nd place in the Europa League table, which is absolutely mental. In all fairness, that still would mean that we'd qualify for the next round, the round of 32. Remember, any team that finishes between 9th and 24th qualifies to a knockout round, which is effectively the round of 32. And then if you qualify for that, you go into the last 16. So, I mean, it's not ideal. It's another 2 games. It's 2 games that Manchester United don't really need. But we are only on 3 points. At the moment, to finish in the automatic qualification places, the 8th place team is on 7 points. So we're currently 4 points off with 5 games to go. If we were to win our next 5 games, which I think should be realistic in the Europa League, I mean, when you look at the teams that we've got coming up, I mean, I would hope with a new manager, that we should be able to beat the teams that we have coming up, because, you look and it's like PAOK, they're not a bad side. Obviously, they're the Greek champions from last season. Then you play, I think it's Victoria Plzen, which I'll be honest, I don't really know much about, but I would expect Manchester United to beat. So we play PAOK, then we play Bodo/Glimt, then we play Victoria Plzen, then we play Rangers, and then we play FCSB. So I don't know, it's really difficult to predict, but score predictions wise, I'm going to go with a Manchester United win tonight. I'm feeling quite confident. Obviously, we haven't lost a game yet since Ruben van Nistelrooy took over as the interim manager. We beat Leicester 5-2. We drew 1-1 with Chelsea. I think we're going to win convincingly tonight. I mean, we have to. I'm going to go 4-1 Manchester United. I think Ruben van Nistelrooy will go out with a full-strength squad because, as I said, we have to win. There's no room for errors tonight. If we were to lose tonight, I would say that, I mean, we probably would still go through just because of how the new format is, but still, we have to win. Our aim has to be to finish in that top 8, so we don't have to play this weird qualifying round. We want to go through, miss out 2 games, go to the next round, and be done with it. So yeah, I'm going to go 4-1 Manchester United. Let's go through our predicted lineup. So obviously, I think it'll be Onana in goal. I'm going to go with Dallo at left back, Mazraoui at right back. Defenders, I'm going with Matthias de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez. Midfield, I'm going to go Casemiro and Ugarte again. I think they were pretty good against Chelsea. Attackers, I'm going to go with Rashford, Garnacho. Bruno's probably going to come back in, and I'm going to go with Højlund. That's what I would do. That's what I think Ruud van Nistelrooy would do. The only potential change that I would maybe look to make is maybe Ahmad coming in. Maybe Ahmad comes in for, I mean, that's the hard one. It's like, who does Ahmad come in for? Garnacho looks up for it at the moment. His end product isn't all quite there, but he does look up for it. Would Ruud van Nistelrooy drop Garnacho? I'm not sure. Or would he drop Rashford? I don't think so either. So I think Ahmad probably is going to be on the bench tonight, which some people are going to be unhappy about. But, based on form, you can see why Rashford and Garnacho are starting, because they are doing things. Yes, they're not finishing them, but they are like creating chances. They are having lots of opportunities. And at some point, as Ruud van Nistelrooy said in his press conferences, you don't create all these opportunities and then don't convert them. Eventually, we will start converting these chances and we will start blowing teams away. It might be that we have to wait, though, until the new manager comes in and he's had a bit of time to kind of implement his tactics. But yeah, you can let me know your score predictions in the comment section. Let me know who you think is going to score. Let me know. We have to win, though. 8 p.m. kickoff. Obviously, I will be doing a match reaction. As soon as the game finishes, I will go live. It'll probably be at about 10 p.m. tonight, UK time. So, yeah. 10 p.m. tonight, I'll be live doing a match reaction. Make sure you join me for that. Let's see what people are saying in the chat then. Let's talk a little bit about this striker, because I can see lots of people in the chat saying what's going on with the striker. So this is coming out from Florian Plettenberg, who is the Sky Sports journalist for, I think he reports from Germany generally, but he reports for Sky Sports. He does seem to get a lot of good news around Manchester United and obviously around other clubs as well. But he is reporting this morning that apparently Manchester United are looking to sign what he describes as a budget striker in the January transfer window. I mean, you can't really argue with that. We're not scoring enough goals. We're creating so many chances. I think we've created the most chances out of any team in the Premier League. But then we've also missed the most chances out of any team in the Premier League. So the actual chance creation isn't the problem anymore. It's converting those chances. That's where Manchester United are really struggling at the moment. And bringing in a new striker, for me, should have been done in the summer. Joshua Zirkzee isn't a striker. He isn't. There's no way on earth you can tell me that Zirkzee's a striker. Like, he's some weird, as he says in his own words, he's some weird kind of hybrid between a number 9 and a number 10. Joshua Zirkzee's first thought is to pass the ball to other people. He'll be in a shooting position and he'll pass, which is good in some situations, but, you want one of those clinical strikers who gets the ball and first thought is turn, shoot, get a shot on target. And Zirkzee just isn't that. Højlund is that kind of player, but he's still not at the point where he's converting those chances. He's creating opportunities for himself. Sometimes he'll score, sometimes he won't. Whereas Joshua Zirkzee, like, every single time he gets the ball, he tries to do a little flick or he tries to do like a little... Do you know what I mean? Like, that's his general style of play. So bringing in a new striker, I think, is absolutely essential. It should have been done in the summer, in my opinion. I think, Manchester United have always had 2 or 3 world-class strikers in their teams. Some could argue that Rashford can play as a striker, but I don't really rate Rashford as a striker that much. I think he's much better on the wing. And even then, some people would say that Rashford's not good enough anymore and he should go. So I don't think we can rely on Marcus Rashford as a number 9, because he's not a number 9. He's just an attacking player who could play as a number 9 if push came to shove. So in relation to some of the names that Manchester United could potentially be looking at, obviously the main one is Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon. He's available for £63 million, which I think is a lot of money, but perfectly reasonable. When you think we paid 70 million for Højlund, who'd only scored 8 goals in the Italian league, Gyökeres has scored, I think, 8 goals in the last 2 matches, 3 of them against Man City, and we paid more than what Sporting Lisbon want for Gyökeres. So I would love to see Gyökeres at Manchester United, but the rumours coming out this morning are that there are a lot of teams interested in him. Arsenal, Barcelona, Real Madrid. So I think the likelihood of him coming to Manchester United, if we're not in the Champions League as well, it's probably quite slim. Because effectively he's going to have so many offers on the table of clubs who can offer him Champions League football, offer him first team football, offer him massive wages. Why would he then come to Manchester United? But he would be my ideal candidate. Now, he isn't somebody that we're going to get in January, just to be very, very clear. Most of the stories point towards the summer for Victor Gyökeres, because apparently he has some sort of agreement with Sporting Lisbon that he can leave in the summer for a fee of around £63 million or 70 million euros, right? Not in January. So it would have to take an absolutely mad offer to be able to convince Sporting Lisbon to sell him in the January window, which I don't think Man United are going to do, realistically. And Ruben Amorim's even said in his own words that he's not going to sign any players in January from Sporting Lisbon. He's not going to break up the team. which I think is fair. You know, they want to keep that relationship. We've had a really good relationship with Sporting Lisbon over the years. Obviously, Ronaldo came from there, Bruno Fernandes came from there, Nani came from there, and now Ruben Amorim. There's probably a couple of other players I've forgotten as well, but effectively, yeah, they don't want to break the relationship with Sporting Lisbon. So we're not going to see Victor Gyökeres at Manchester United in January. It will have to be in the summer if it's going to happen at all. Would you like to see Victor Gyökeres at Manchester United? Let me know your thoughts. Before we move on to the next part of the video, if everyone could do me a small favour, please drop a like on today's show. We've got over 250 people watching. I've set a likes target of 500, so make sure you go and do that right now. And if this is your first time watching today, please make sure to subscribe. We're getting so close to 40,000 subscribers now. So close. So go and subscribe now if you haven't already. The content is free. It doesn't cost you any money. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers and then we can move on to the next milestone. So go and like and subscribe right now. Back to the topic of the budget strikers. Let's have a little look at some of the options that are available to us, shall we? Because it's realistically, right, we're going to be shopping in the bargain bin again. You know, it's going to be cheap options. It's not going to be big name players. It's going to be probably loans. I mean, it doesn't really fill me with much confidence, you know, when you're looking at loans. But at the end of the day, what do we really expect? We spent roughly 30 to 40 million pounds total to sack Erik ten Hag and bring in Ruben Amorim. Remember, we paid Erik ten Hag 17 million. We had to pay Sporting Lisbon 10 million. And then there's some other costs as well, some hidden costs there. So it's cost a lot of money to sack Erik ten Hag and replace him with Amorim. That amount of money would have bought us a striker. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm happy we've got Ruben Amorim. I'm just saying there isn't an endless pot of money, okay? And obviously with the financial fair play situations that every club's having to deal with, you know, Newcastle supposedly might have to sell Isaac, etc., etc. You know, everybody's struggling with this. And when you spend £40 million, give or take, to sack a manager and bring in a new manager, that's obviously going to then limit what you can do in the next transfer window. So yeah, we're going to be looking in the bargain basement, I like to call it. We're going to be shopping in the reduced style. You know, when you go to Tesco or whatever supermarket you go to just before it closes and you go to like the sandwiches and they're selling sandwiches for like 10p when they should be £3. That's probably the market we're going to be looking in. It's going to have to be a clever deal. Someone like an Igalo, someone that we can maybe get on loan until the end of the season, someone to see us over. Like a Weghorst. I'm not saying it will be Weghorst. I'm just saying a deal like that. So it's not going to be, oh, let's go out and sign a Gyökeres. Now, one option that I wanted to bring into the chat, which I thought was really, really interesting, and is apparently available. He's scoring goals. He's doing really, really well. And I wanted to get you guys' opinions on this one, is Jonathan David. Now, I know we've spoken about Jonathan David a lot on this channel, but there is a real opportunity here for Manchester United to sign Jonathan David. A real opportunity. His contract expires in June. He's only got 6 months left on his current deal, right? He has scored 6 goals and got 2 assists in 8 matches so far in the Champions League. He's had a really good season so far, Jonathan David. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of him, but when you look at the goals that he's scored, so he's played in 4 Champions League matches and 4 Champions League qualifiers, and he's got 8 goals and assists in 8 matches. And he's also scored 7 goals in 10 matches in the French League. So this season so far, he's got 15 goals and assists in only 18 games, which is absolutely unbelievable. When you think that the whole of our team, I think, has scored probably about... how many goals have we scored in the Premier League? Is it like 8 goals or something? Let me just double check. I know we've scored an absolutely disgraceful amount of goals. Let's have a look. We've only scored 12. We've scored 12 goals so far this season in the Premier League. Sorry, we've scored 9 goals in the Premier League. Jonathan David scored 7 goals himself in the league. Now, obviously, the French league is not as competitive as the Premier League, but I think he would be a real opportunity on the market because Lille aren't going to want him to leave for free. 24 years of age. Apparently, he's available for as little as £20 million. He wants to stay. He doesn't want to stay. Lille want him to stay. He doesn't want to stay, and it looks like he's going to leave. So yeah, he's one to keep an eye on as a kind of budget option for the January window. Now, let me just be fair here. He is not a £20 million striker. He's probably worth £40, £50 million. And that's why I said you're shopping in the reduced style. You're getting a player for a massively discounted price because of his contract situation. So yeah, let's see what you guys all think about that one. Jonathan David to Manchester United, £20 million, 6 months left on his contract. Would you like to see him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Al says, before we signed Højlund, I suggested Santiago Jimenez. Yeah, Santiago Jimenez is an interesting option as well. Although I think he did just sign a new contract, didn't he? He's obviously playing football in the Eredivisie at the moment for Feyenoord. I think he signed a new deal, though. Yeah, he did. He signed a new deal till 2027, so his price will be expensive. He's not going to be cheap, and that's why somebody like Jonathan David is a bit of an opportunity on the market, because Lille will want to cash in before his contract expires. And to get a player of his quality for only £20 million, I think it would be really, really good business, to be honest. But yeah, I'd obviously be interested to see what you guys think about that. In relation to other players whose contracts are coming to an end, because I think we are going to kind of be shopping in that kind of market where it's, players where there's an opportunity. We're not going to be able to get Guy Carrez in January. That won't happen, unfortunately, as much as I would love to see Guy Carrez at Manchester United. So in relation to other forwards, I wanted to run through some other names with you really, really quickly. Jonathan David is an option. Now, take everything I say with a pinch of salt here, okay? Because there's some names here which are probably going to make you fearful, let's say. Another option is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 27 years of age. His contract also expires in June, in 6 months. Apparently Everton haven't been able to agree a new deal with him. And there are actually some rumours as well saying that apparently Jonathan David is wanted by Everton and that they might go for him in January. But so Jonathan David is one option. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is another option. Another interesting option as well is Dybala. His contract expires in June. He's apparently available in the January window. And I'm just reading you off some names here, all right? I'm just reading you off some, different strikers that Manchester United could, that could go for and that have been linked to in the last couple of days. So we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we've got Jonathan David, we've got Dybala. I would definitely take Jonathan David. I'm not sure about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and I'm not sure about Dybala, to be honest. I think the main priority for Manchester United is getting players in the right age profile, and what's he called? Jonathan David would fit that profile perfectly. He's obviously the right age, 24, scoring lots of goals, and I think he would do well at Manchester United. I mean, yeah, we'd hope so anyway. The other options that we've got are relatively bleak looking, to be honest. Like, those are the three main options who are available for a reasonable amount of money. So obviously, other options, it's people like Lacazette, which I think is a definite no-no for me. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what you guys think about that. Those are the kind of realistic names that we can expect Manchester United to be looking at in this window. And I think Jonathan David, from what I've heard, from what I've read, is the most likely option for Manchester United to go for, because he is seen as an opportunity on the market. So let me know what you think about that one. Most people in the chat are saying, I don't want Dominic Calvert-Lewin. What else have we got? Dan says, what about Danny Welbeck? That's an interesting option. There was a story that came out a couple of days ago saying that apparently Erik ten Hag wanted to sign Danny Welbeck in the summer, right? And I mean, he's got 6 goals in 10 matches and 2 assists in the Premier League this season. We've only scored 9 goals. He's had a good season, Danny Welbeck, 33 years of age. Apparently, Erik ten Hag wanted to bring him in the summer, but Manchester United said no, and they went for Xerxes instead. It's crazy, isn't it, that we all thought that Erik ten Hag wanted Xerxes, but apparently he didn't. Apparently, Erik ten Hag didn't want Xerxes, and apparently Xerxes turned up to Carrington a stone overweight, and that's why he didn't play for so long, because he was unfit effectively, which is absolutely mental, isn't it? But. And apparently Ten Hag didn't want Ugarte either, which makes me think, in the summer, did Ineos say, like, we'll keep you, but we're going to sign the players we want? Because even De Ligt, Erik ten Hag said that in one of his press conferences that it was actually Ineos who suggested that they signed De Ligt, not him. So I'm not saying he didn't want De Ligt. I'm just saying that, we had this assumption that Erik ten Hag had been given the checkbook and he went out and signed Xerxes and De Ligt just because they were Dutch and that he knew them. When in reality, it actually seems more truthful that it was actually Ineos who went out and signed De Ligt, Xerxes and Manuel Ugarte. Maybe because they knew, Ruben Amorim was coming and they knew that this was going to be the next manager. What else have we got in the chat? But yeah, I don't mind that idea of Danny Welbeck. I think it's an interesting option. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It feels like a good point to end today's show. Please make sure to drop a like before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will be back live later on today. As soon as the Europa League game finishes, I will go live. Hopefully we win. Hopefully we have some positivity to shout about because, yeah, we need to win tonight. It's a must-win game. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Daily with Devil, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bye for now.